Hello everyone and welcome back to Crusader Kings 2. Now this is a conclusion video to a Clash of Kings multiplayer because sadly with episode 15 this series is over. Now we had to end it because last Sunday we were unable to get together and record more episodes, and now Burton is going to be away for a couple of weeks, and we just decided, you know, this is a long wait and we don't want to revive old series all the time, so we're just gonna end this here. Now also you have to keep in mind that this save is already 2 patches old, so there's always the possibility of, you know, something breaking or just, you know, being corrupted, and it's also quite annoying to, you know, go back and forth between the versions, the old version, new version, and, you know, again, something can always break. So we just thought we're gonna end it on this note. It's kind of, you know, an open end, obviously, and maybe you guys like that, maybe you guys don't like that. However, I want to give you a little bit of a conclusion video where I talk about how things could have went down, or just give you a very possible scenario of how things would have worked out and how I would have reacted to them. So yeah, let's go right in this. So obviously before I unpause, there would have been a couple things I would have done. So obviously I have a couple of very interesting people here. First one is Sir Harvin Heartstone of the House Plum. Now he is a formidable fighter, strong character, so his dual skill is 20. That is insane. Now he is, luckily, I was able to, he would come to my court, so I would definitely invite him. Also, there is Balon Swan, who is a skilled fighter and strong, and also a skilled commander. He has 23 martial, and well, his dual skill is not the most important, but his commander ability is very important. So I would invite him to court as well. And same goes for Julian, who is simply a good commander with 19 martial, brilliant commander, and 3 unique traits for commanding. So that's very good. Now he is cruel, but you know, who cares? I would invite him to my court as well. So these are the 3 guys I would invite to my court, simply because I need some generals in the upcoming war, and the Harwin Plum guy, he's actually more of a bodyguard. At least that's what I want to use him for. He's not, well, he's also a good, well, he's also with 22 martial, it's also a very good commander, but we'll see. So that's about that. Those are the guys I would have invited. Also, what I would have done is, now we left off the last episode, we didn't really know what Tyrion or Paradox would do in the Western Lands, if he would join the traitors or if he would join the crown. Now technically he is already on the side with the Reach, but you know, he could always decide not to use his troops. If he would decide to use his troops against, which I'm assuming, he would obviously fight us. And I think I would have broken this engagement we had right here. Lord Tywin II is currently betrothed to Princess Catelyn of Winter, so I would probably break this. You know, it's gonna lower the opinion, but we're already at war, so that doesn't really mean anything. So I definitely would do that. Also, I would probably send an offer to King Renly over here. I would offer him to educate a child. Now, not just some child. I would offer him to educate Elia Martell. Now, it says no right here, but this is simply because it's the AI. If Vujo would be the player playing as Renly, this the game would just let me send the offer because it's a human. So he would probably accept. Now, with Elia Martell at the court of King Renly, he could simply, he could very easily imprison Elia Martell, and as soon as Doran Martell, who's already 72 and infirm, if he dies, his heir would be Elia Martell, and she would be immediately imprisoned by the king. So this is the way, as soon as Doran dies, basically, we have Dorne out of the war. So it would only be the Reach and the Western Lands if they join. And that should be fairly easy to fight them. Now, I've actually checked how many troops each nation has at this time. Now I could go around and show you guys, but I could also just read it out to you. Now at this time, the Iron Throne has 47k troops. Now you see roughly about 40,000k, and he has another 6k levy in his capital. Now I, at the moment, have 43k raised, and I can also raise another 8.6k. So in total that will be 51,000 men. So together we would have raised, at the moment, we would have raised 90,000 men. That is very, very good. And also you can see 14,000 Veilmen over here. Now I was actually sending my troops, as you can see, you know, these guys would just meet up somewhere in Harrenhal or over here on the Blackwater. But I would also send a couple of guys over to Crow's Barrens to try to pick up these Veilmen, which could, you know, could work. It might not, but sometimes the AI actually does work together with you, and then you can pick up these guys and they will follow you around, which would be another 15,000 men that I could basically command. That would be very, very useful. So yeah, and the enemies, or our enemies at the moment, the Westerlands, I looked up, they had about 31k, Dawn had 29k, the Reach 26k, and the Ironborn 20k. So basically, just to, you can do the math, without the Ironborn, it would be about 90k against 86k. The Iron Throne in the north would have 90k, and the Traitors would have 86k. So it really would depend on the Ironborn, who they would attack. They would really, you know, turn tide. But I think it's very likely that the Ironborn would have invaded me again, because that's just their ultimate goal. They always go for the north for whatever reason. So I'm pretty sure they would have attacked me, but in order to get enough war score, they would have to either fight my army, which they obviously do not want to do, because they only have 20,000 men, as you can see right here. Yeah, they only have about 20,000 men, so they would not be able to fight my armies to destroy them, but they could siege stuff. However, having 8,000 men in Winterfell, there is a garrison of 13,600 men, so they would have to take almost their entire army all the way to Winterfell and siege it down, and it's going to take some time. So while they do this, it's very possible that we already win the war in the south, and then the Iron Throne could help me fight the Ironborn, and we would win, essentially. Especially if we could get Dorne out of the war early, which, you know, may or may not happen. Doran has lived for quite a while, but he really could die any time now. So yeah, I think it is very likely that he would die during the war, and then Dorne would just peace out, and, you know, could be stripped off all the titles. Yeah, so what would have happened in the aftermath? Now, probably the Iron Throne, Ruja, would have taken off the Reach and Dorne. They would have taken away their paramounts. Now, I'm not sure if he would have taken away the Westerlands, since the Westerlands only betrayed him once, whereas the other two guys betrayed him multiple times, and also the Westerlands helped him. But one thing I would have really demanded is that the Westerlands at least give up Riverrun, and that the new Lord of Riverrun is going to become, or that Brandon Stark will be the new Lord of Riverrun. Just the Lordship, not even the High Lordship. I'm not that ambitious. I just want him to have a castle. Now, there's one more person over here, the last Tully. There's no more Tullys, there's just one living member, and he's a bastard. Benedict Rivers. He's a bastard of Edmure Tully, and he is the last Tully remaining. Now, I would also invite him to my court, which is not possible because he must be an adult. However, I would invite him if it's possible, and I would marry him to this lovely girl, Melisandre Stark, which is the only child of Brandon Stark. Now, if Brandon Stark would become Lord of Riverrun, and he's not going to have any more kids, which it seems like, then Melisandre Stark would inherit, and she would be married to the last remaining Tully. And I just think that is a very nice thing. So the last Tully would die in Riverrun, and then Riverrun would from now on be ruled by the Starks. Same as the Vale. As soon as Harold Arryn would die, we would have Euron, or Aeron, not Euron, Aeron Stark as new Lord of the Vale, which would be very, very cool. Also, during the war, if the Ironborn would have decided to attack me, I would have easily, very easily, sent off Prince Noe as well as Prince Eddard over to Jon Stark. So as you can see right here, educate child, can give him Noe, he totally says yes, and I could also give him Eddard, he would say yes. So I would send off these two guys to the wall. Now the wall would probably join me in the defensive war, but if his goal was to catch me, or catch my heir, he would have to walk all the way up to Castle Black, and the attrition over there is devious, so he would lose a lot of men, and that would probably make it possible for me to beat him, even after I lose troops in this war in the south. Also, I would probably send off all my other children, Minisa, you know, Catelyn, and Mage. Well, Minisa is already in the Stormlands, but Mage and Catelyn, I would send them off to Harold Arryn or Sansa Stark in the Vale, because also the Vale does take quite a while to siege down. And the other guys are safe over here in Stormlands. But yeah, that was basically the way I would have gone with this, and just to let you guys see how things would have, if that actually would have worked out, if these guys... What? At age 30, Lyanna Mormont died under suspicious circumstances. What? Someone killed her? Alright, I totally did not expect that. Well, that is very unfortunate, and we are widowed. Great. Well, we already have 5 kids, but that is... Wow, I totally did not expect that. Gee. Alright, well, that's odd, but, you know, well, it sucks. Lyanna Mormont, if you remember, that is the girl that wrote a letter to Stannis in the shows, saying that, I know no king but the king in the north, whose name is Stark. So she was very loyal, and yeah, it sucks that she died. Damn it, I wonder who did it. Must be the AI. But yeah, wow, that kind of threw me off here. Well, but yeah, let's see if these guys would actually... Okay, so this guy would join my court, so I would give him an honorary title as my bodyguard. And now that my wife died, I could also give him the captain of the household guard. I should probably do that as well, just because he is 20 dual skill. That is so good. That's just so good. And his son, oh, he took his kids with him, I see. And he's married to a Lannister girl, attractive Lannister lady. I see. And this guy, Gullian, would also come as well, a nice commander. And yeah, so this is this event. I've never had that before. So drown yourself in wine, woman, and song. I wouldn't do that. Lose yourself in books. Seek solace in the arms of another. This is nonsense. Probably in the wisdom of others. I would probably, well, Robb Stark wouldn't do this. He probably wouldn't do, well, maybe Robb Stark would do this. No, I think I'm gonna go for that. And I'm depressed. Great. So Robb Stark is now depressed. Well, that is a good sign. Alright. Well, let's continue. And the last guy over... Whoops, such a bright little child. Very nice. And who's that? Balon Swan. Also a very good person. Great. Alright, so yeah, so all these guys actually did come to our court, so I would probably put them in the army somewhere over here. Maybe in this one while I'm leading that one. But yeah, we have Balon Swan, 23 Marshal, and we have Harwin with 22 Marshal. Very, very good people. We could have this guy, not Willis. Let's the She-Bear, Gullian, and Hallas. So yeah, we have really good commanders now. 4 people above 20, so very, very good commanders. We would have probably wrecked the south. Now I wonder how long it takes. Oh, he wants to be designated regent. Oh, right, because my wife was a designated regent. Alright, anyway, I kind of wanted to wait around until Doran dies, but you know, that could be next year, that could be in 10 years, who knows. But, you know, that is just how things would have probably ended. Dorne would have been out of the war, we would have crushed them, and whoever the Iron Isles, either the Iron Isles would have declared war on me, and I would have defeated them, or they would have declared war on anyone else, which really is not my problem. Of course, if they would have declared war on the Vale, I would have helped them, but other than that, nothing would have happened. And yeah, so I was talking to NG and Paradox in Skype yesterday, or the day before that, I don't even know, on Sunday. And so they kind of said, or at least NG did, that he thinks I kind of won this multiplayer. Now, I don't know if I think there can be multiple winners, but I certainly did manage to get everything I wanted to do. I mean, the North is independent. It's ruled by a stock independently. King Robb is obviously the king of the winter. Obviously all of his family is alive except for Eddard, but he died before I could do anything. And all these stock enemies are dead. So yeah, we have our sword back. Obviously, we did that very early on, so it does look very, very good. Also, the Veil is under our control, so it does seem like I kind of won this. And yeah, let's just leave it like that. Let's just say I won this multiplayer. It makes me feel very good. So I hope that you liked my kind of confusing conclusion, but you know, I was talking all over the place, but I just wanted to give you an info. A little bit of an insight also on how things would have played out, what my last moves would have been, and yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to press like, or you know, leave a nice comment below. I'm always happy to read nice comments and reply to them. But yeah, that was it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Gironca signing off.